and successful drink? Well, it might have something to do with that day when it all started, which was May the 8th, 1886. That was when the first glass of Coca Cola was sold, I think for 5 cents, in a pharmacist's shop in Atlanta, Georgia. So what we're going to do today, before we look at the stars for today, before I do my forecast of the 12 signs, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the chart for when that first glass of Coca-Cola was sold for 5 cents. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the time for its sale, but I do have the day, and that might give us some clues about whether or not it was a good time to launch a product. I mean, this is something you should do. If you're launching a product, you should launch a product when the stars are good. It's like a few days ago I was talking about marriage. When people get married, all things being equal, they should check the stars. I mean, why not? It's an important day that's, the implications of this day are going to carry on for decades, so you might as well get married on a good day, astrologically. If you're going to launch a product likewise, got to be on a good day if you can possibly make it happen. So let's look at this chart. There it is, 5 cents. I think that was the original advertising. So I've set this May 8th, 1886. I set it for 9 in the morning. I have no idea when it was that first glass of Coca-Cola was sold. I understand in 1886 people probably got up earlier than they do now, so maybe it was sold as early as 8 in the morning or even earlier, so we just don't know. But when you look at this kind of chart, it's called an electional chart because you're electing the time to do something. So Coca-Cola will have many charts. There'll be the chart of various corporate events, for example, the company being listed on the stock market for the first time. I think I've even seen charts when they change a formula, change a formula of Coca-Cola, new chart. But that first chart, when that first glass of Coca-Cola is sold, kind of defines the whole company, I think. Now, the moon in this chart is really in a very good position. It's in Cancer. The moon rules Cancer. Furthermore, the moon is making a sextile to the sun. So moon and sun in a good relationship. Moon and sun in astrology are the two most important bodies. The ancient Greek astrologer Ptolemy, I think he said in his works that it's good for survival of a child. So if a child is born with a good aspect between the sun and moon, it's got a good chance of surviving. That was an important point. 2,000 years ago, children very often didn't survive. The first few years were the most dangerous. If you could survive childhood, then you could live to old age, and you wouldn't necessarily live much shorter than you do now. So it was a childhood death that really knocked things out. So having that favourable aspect between the moon and Saturn is really important, and this, I think, reflects the longevity of a product. If you want a product to last a long time, get the moon and the sun in sextile. Another point to make is that Coca-Cola is, I suppose, an iconic American product. What do you associate with America? Coca-Cola. What has been a major source of America's cultural and commercial domination of the world, certainly since the Second World War? Well, probably Coca Cola played a big role. And look at the moon, it's at 15 Cancer. Now, the position of the sun at the signing of the Declaration of Independence on July the 4th, 1776, that chart when the United States was born, had, yeah, the sun was at 30, I believe 1319 Cancer. So the moon was very close to America's sun sign, and I think that's really a good sign that this product can take off in the United States. And there it is, making the sextile to the sun. So yeah, that is definitely a good sign. We can also see Jupiter's in Virgo retrograde, making a trine to Neptune. You know, Neptune is the sea. Neptune possibly related to beverages, more with alcoholic beverages, but I think having that Jupiter trine Neptune is fortunate, and I think probably helped the product become successful. We can also note on a very general level that Coca Cola is a Taurean drink connected with the sign Taurus. Taurus has staying power. Taurus is solid. Taurus, is going to keep going until it's a commercial success. So overall, I think Coca-Cola has a good chart, and the very fact that the business has lasted so long really does reflect that. Anyway, that's enough of Coca-Cola. I don't drink the stuff. I have no opinion of the stuff. It's not that I don't like the stuff. I just don't drink it. I'm not particularly interested in it. But I thought I'd mention it as it is National Have a Coke Day. So if you're a Coca-Cola drinker, I do wish you a happy Have a Coke Day. So the positions of the stars for today, Monday, May the 8th, 2023. The moon continues to be in Sagittarius. So this is a time when we can be free thinking, free speaking. We can reach for things which are beyond our everyday reality, especially now when the moon is very close to the galactic center. The galactic center is a point in space in late Sagittarius, and so the moon is on the galactic center. The moon is making a square to Neptune, and then it's making a trine to Jupiter. So yes, the moon in Sagittarius has got big ideas. It's sparking with energy, but moon square Neptune does have a certain deluded quality to it. We might have to be careful that we don't jump to the wrong conclusions. Our emotions might tell us something and we might say, yeah, let's go for it. But no, be careful. First impressions may not be the right impressions. Nonetheless, when the moon has made a square to Neptune, it makes a trine to Jupiter. There's Jupiter in Aries, moon in Sagittarius, and moon trine Jupiter is one of the most fortunate aspects in the book. It's happy, it's successful, and it's lucky, and I think that's how you'll end the day, in good spirits, feeling happy about the way things are going. That doesn't mean to say, though, that everything is fine, because the Mars-Saturn midpoint is slowly moving towards the Aries point. It's not quite there, but by tomorrow it will be exactly on the Aries point. So we do have to be a bit careful when dealing with the world at large. Mars and Saturn are about death and destruction. They break things down. There's frustration, and so when we look at what's going on in the world, we may see a growing sense of frustration, which may even be tinged with a bit of violence. So, as far as my forecasts for the 12 signs of the zodiac are concerned, here they are. Aries, 4 stars. It's okay to reach for the stars, provided you choose the right staircase. Taurus, 3 stars. If you don't understand something, just step out of the way. Gemini, 5 stars. Time to get assistance, because with the right team, you can reach your potential to the full. Cancer, 4 stars. Your attention to detail serves you well in your working environment. Leo, 4 stars. Everything is fine, provided you don't spend too much time with any one person. Virgo, 4 stars. When you're on your own, you have important revelations about your future. Libra, 4 stars. There is a time to keep quiet and a time to talk your head off. And you have to work out which is which. Scorpio, 3 stars. Money can be confusing, but if you take your time, you'll get to the bottom of the mystery. Sagittarius, 5 stars. You're in full swing, and the opinions of your family can probably be ignored. Capricorn, 4 stars. When you are on home turf, you're on peak form. Aquarius, 4 stars. You're clever and perhaps also quietly outrageous. Don't stop now. And finally, Pisces, 5 stars. You're making things complicated, but you're also having fun. Fair enough. Now I'm going to move to the I Ching, and as usual, I threw the coins in the air, and let's see what I got. There we go. So the first hexagram I got was number 26, which is the taming power of the great. This means that we're in a position to restrain other people and ourselves and our family and the people around us, and we're in a position to stop them doing anything stupid. And that's how the day starts. And we can also foresee stupidity before it actually happens. You know, we're dealing with humans. Humans are just animals. Humans are creatures that can be slaves to their instincts, and we can see this, and we can take the right measures to stop things getting out of control. And I think we can do this very well. Then we move to the second hexagram. Now, this picture I got here is for hexagram 30, the clinging. Now, this picture I actually took myself. I took it this morning. I was pulling weeds. I was pulling Scotch broom, and yeah, it's a major invasive species here. And yeah, I was out in the country, in Trump country, and you know, when you get rural, that's where people support Trump. Fair enough. So I was out there in Trump country pulling weeds this morning, and I saw this Scotch broom, and there was a ladybug. You call them ladybugs in America. I call them ladybirds, but there it was on a Scotch broom, clinging on. And I believe that it was not an Asian ladybug. They're an invasive species. I believe it's is a native ladybug. I think invasive species are a big issue around here. Anyway, sorry, I'm deviating. This is where it moves to. We taming power of the great. We we are able to restrain ourselves and the people around us. We're able to do a good job, and then this moves towards the end of the day to the concept of clinging. We can cling to what we know is right and proper. Because if we know we're in the right, I mean, not just think we're in the right, but if we know we're in the right, then really nothing can stop us. We cling to what we know is true, and by clinging to what we know is true, we are eventually vindicated. So that's all I'm going to say for today, and I will talk to you tomorrow.